The stars burned bright in the darkness of space. Maya Brooks stood at the command center window and watched enemy ships fill the sky. There were so many of them. Like silver drops of rain, they moved toward Earth in perfect lines. "Ma'am, they're coming," said Lieutenant Tom Parker. His voice shook a little. Maya did not blame him. She was scared, too. The enemy called themselves the Zephyrian Dominion. They had taken over almost every planet in the galaxy. Now they wanted Earth. Maya had seen what happened to other worlds. The Dominion never showed mercy. Maya looked at the main screen. The enemy fleet was huge. Their ships were beautiful and terrible at the same time. They looked like they were made of crystal and silver. Each ship was 3 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. "How many ships?" Maya asked. "Over 2,000, ma'am," Tom said. "Maybe more coming." Maya closed her eyes for a moment. Earth had only 50 ships left. Most of them were old and damaged. They had been fighting for 3 years. Every battle took more ships away from them. Captain Lisa Morgan's voice came through the radio. "Command, this is Eagle Squadron. We see them. Boy, there are a lot of them." Maya picked up her radio. "Eagle Squadron, stay back for now. Wait for my order." "Copy that. Command." Maya knew Lisa was ready to fight. Lisa had been flying for 20 years. She was the best pilot Earth had. But even Lisa could not win against 2,000 enemy ships. On the main screen, Maya could see the enemy leader's ship. It was bigger than all the others. It looked like a floating palace made of white stone and gold. Beautiful flags hung from its sides. Inside that ship was Zarathiel. Maya had never seen her, but she knew the name. Zarathiel was an Aetherni war commander. The Aetherni looked like elves from old stories. They were tall and beautiful, with pointed ears and long hair. But they were also deadly fighters. The Aetherni were not alone. They had allies called the Vexthari. The Vexthari were different. They looked like women, but they had natural armor on their skin. Some had extra arms or strange eyes. They were born to fight. "Ma'am, they're sending a message," Tom said. "Put it on screen." The screen changed. Maya saw a woman with long silver hair and purple eyes. Her ears were pointed like in fairy tales. She wore white armor that seemed to glow. This was Zarathiel. "Humans of Earth," Zarathiel said. Her voice was calm and cold. "I am War Mistress Zarathiel of the Dominion. You have fought well, but this ends now. Give up and we will be quick. Fight us and we will take your planet anyway. Many will die for nothing." Maya took a deep breath. She turned on her radio to send a message back. "This is Lieutenant Commander Maya Brooks of Earth Defense. We will not give up. This is our home." Zarathiel smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "Then you will die defending it." The screen went black. "All ships, this is Maya Brooks," she said into her radio. "They want to fight. Let's give them one they won't forget." The enemy ships began to move faster. They came at Earth like arrows shot from a bow. Their weapons started to glow with blue light. "Lisa, take your squadron around the moon. Hit them from the side," Maya ordered. "On our way," Lisa replied. Maya watched as Lisa's 12 fighters flew around Earth's moon. They were so small compared to the enemy ships, like tiny birds flying at giant eagles. The first enemy shots lit up space. Blue beams of energy reached out toward Earth's defense stations. Maya felt the command center shake as their shields took the hits. "Return fire!" Maya shouted. Earth's weapons shot back. Red laser beams and missiles flew toward the enemy. Some hit their targets. Maya saw 3 enemy ships explode in bright flashes, but there were so many more. Lisa's squadron attacked from the side. They moved fast and shot at the enemy ships. Weak spots. More explosions lit up the darkness. But the enemy was learning. They started to spread out. They surrounded Earth from all sides. "Ma'am, they're trying to cut off our escape routes," Tom said. Maya nodded. She had expected this. The Dominion always did the same thing. They would surround a planet and then slowly destroy all its defenses. But Maya had a plan. It was dangerous, but it might work. "All ships pull back to point 7, she ordered. "Ma'am?" Tom looked confused. "We're retreating?" "Trust me," Maya said. The human ships began to move back toward Earth. The enemy followed them, thinking they were winning. Zarathiel's ship moved closer to the planet. Maya watched and waited. The enemy ships came closer and closer. They thought the humans were beaten. "Now!" Maya shouted. Hidden defense platforms all around Earth suddenly turned on. They had been powered down and invisible. Now they opened fire all at once. The enemy was caught by surprise. 20 of their ships exploded in the first few seconds. The others tried to pull back, but they were too close to Earth. Lisa's squadron came back, around the moon. They hit the confused enemy from behind. More ships died in bright explosions. For a moment, it looked like Earth might win, but then Zarathiel's ship began to glow. Maya had never seen anything like it. The whole ship became bright like a small sun. A wave of energy came from the ship. It hit Earth's hidden platforms and destroyed them all at once. The light was so bright that Maya had to look away. When she could see again, half of Earth's defenses were gone. "Fall back to the inner defense line," Maya ordered. Her heart was heavy. The plan had worked for a few minutes, but it was not enough. The enemy ships regrouped. They began their attack again. This time they were more careful. But something strange happened. As the human ships pulled back, Maya saw something on her screen. The enemy had stopped chasing them. "Tom, what are they doing?" she asked. Tom looked at his instruments. "Ma'am, there are civilian ships in the area, refugee transports, trying to escape." Maya's blood ran cold. The civilians had no weapons. They could not fight back. "Lisa, can you reach those transports?" Maya asked. "We're too far away," Lisa replied. "But ma'am, if we go back, we'll be trapped." Maya looked at the screen. She could see the civilian ships. There were families on those transports, children, old people. They were all going to die. "All ships, change course." "We're going back," Maya ordered. "Ma'am, that's suicide," Tom said. "Maybe. But we don't leave people behind." The human ships turned around. They flew straight toward the enemy fleet. Maya knew it was crazy. They would probably all die. But they could not watch innocent people get killed. Lisa's squadron reached the transports first. They put themselves between the civilians and the enemy. Enemy fire lit up space around them. "Get those transports out of here," Lisa shouted over the radio. The civilian ships began to run. They were slow and had no weapons, but they were trying to escape. Maya's ship and the others arrived to help. They fired at any enemy ship that tried to attack the transports. On her screen, Maya could see Zarathiel's ship. The Atherny commander was not attacking. She was just watching. The battle went on for 30 minutes. 2 of Lisa's fighters were destroyed. 3 more human ships were badly damaged. But all the civilian transports escaped. Finally, Maya ordered the retreat. "All ships, fall back. We did what we came to do." As they flew away, Maya wondered why Zarathiel had not pressed the attack. The enemy could have destroyed them all, but they had let the humans save the civilians. Maybe there was something in the enemy that Maya did not understand. Something that might give Earth hope. But for now, they had lost another battle. Earth was still in danger, and tomorrow, the enemy would attack again. 3 days had passed since the big battle. Maya Brooks walked through the underground base where Earth's remaining forces were hiding. The walls were made of rock and metal. It was not pretty, but it was safe from enemy attacks. Commander Brooks called Dr. Amy Rodriguez. She was running toward Maya with a worried look on her face. "We have a problem." Maya stopped walking. "What kind of problem?" "There's a crashed ship in Sector 7. It's one of theirs, an Etherni scout ship." Maya felt her heart speed up. "Are there survivors?" "One. She's hurt but alive. The rescue team brought her here." Maya followed Amy down a long hallway. They passed tired soldiers and broken equipment. Everyone looked scared and hungry. They had been hiding underground for weeks. They reached the medical room. Inside, Maya saw something she had never seen before. An Atherny lay on a white bed. She was unconscious and had bandages on her arms and head. The Atherny looked young, maybe 20 years old in human terms. Her hair was long and white like snow. Her skin was pale and perfect. Even hurt and sleeping, she was beautiful. "Her name is Lyralai," Amy said quietly. "I found it in her ship's computer. She's a scout, probably looking for our base when she crashed." Maya stared at the sleeping enemy. Have you told anyone else about this? Just you. I wanted to know what to do first. Maya thought for a moment. The smart thing would be to kill the Etherni. She was an enemy. She might have information about Earth's defenses. But looking at her, Maya felt strange. The Etherni looked so young and helpless. How bad are her injuries? Maya asked. Broken ribs, head injury, some cuts. Nothing that will kill her if we treat her right? Then treat her. Amy looked surprised. Maya, she's one of them. She would kill us if she could. Maybe. But right now she can't hurt anyone. And maybe we can learn something from her. Amy nodded, slowly. I'll do what I can. Maya left the medical room and went to find Lisa Morgan. She found her in the hangar, working on her damaged fighter. Lisa was covered in oil and looked tired. Lisa, I need to talk to you, Maya said. Lisa put down her tools. What's wrong now? Maya told her about the Etherni prisoner. Lisa listened without saying anything. When Maya finished, Lisa shook her head. You're crazy, Maya. We should kill her and be done with it. That's what they would do, Maya said, but we're not them. Yeah, and that's why we're losing. Maya put her hand on Lisa's shoulder. Maybe, but it's also why we're worth saving. 2 days later, Lyrelay woke up. Maya was sitting next to her bed, reading a book. When the Etherni opened her eyes, they were bright green like emeralds. Lyrelay tried to sit up quickly, but pain made her fall back down. She looked around the room with fear in her eyes. Where am I? She asked. Her voice was soft and musical, like singing. You're safe, Maya said. Your ship crashed. We found you and brought you here. Lyrelay stared at Maya. You're human. Yes. Why did you help me? I am your enemy. Maya closed her book. Because you were hurt and needed help. Lyrelay looked confused. But that makes no sense. In war, you kill your enemies. You don't heal them. Is that what they taught you? Of course. The strong survive and the weak die. That is the way of the universe. Maya shook her head. That's not our way. Dr. Amy came into the room with food and medicine. She smiled at Lyrelay, which made the Etherni even more confused. How are you feeling? Amy asked. I don't understand, Lyrelay said. You are being kind to me. But I came here to find your base so my people could destroy it. Amy sat down next to the bed. We know, but you can't destroy anything right now. You're hurt and alone. Lyrelay looked back and forth between Maya and Amy. This is a trick. You want information from me? No trick, Maya said. When you're better, you can leave if you want. We won't stop you. That's impossible. No one would do that. Amy smiled. You'd be surprised what humans will do. Over the next few days, Lyrelay began to heal. Amy took care of her injuries while Maya visited every day. They talked about many things. Maya learned that Lyrelay had never seen kindness like this before. In the Dominion, everything has a purpose, Lyrelay explained. If you cannot fight or work, you are useless. There is no room for weakness. What about friends, family? Maya asked. We have duty and honor. That is enough. Don't you ever get lonely? Lyrelay was quiet for a long time. I don't know. I never thought about it before. Meanwhile, other things were happening in the underground base. Commander Nina Clark ran the resistance fighters who attacked enemy supply lines. She came to Maya with news. We hit another Dominion camp yesterday, Nina said. But something strange happened. What? We found human prisoners. But when we attacked, some of the guards didn't fight back. They just stood there. A few even ran away. Maya was interested. What kind of guards? Vexithari, the big ones with armor. But they acted like they didn't want to be there. This was new information. Maya had always thought the Dominion was united, but maybe there were cracks in their alliance. A week after Lyrelay woke up, Maya made a decision. She brought the Etherni to the main command room. Many soldiers stared at her as they walked by. Some looked angry. Why are you showing me this? Lyrelay asked. Because I want you to understand something, Maya said. She showed Lyrelay the main screen. It displayed Earth from space. The planet looked blue and green and beautiful. This is our home, Maya said. Not just the humans. Every living thing on that planet. We're fighting to protect all of it. Lyrelay stared at the image. It's beautiful. Yes. And your people want to destroy it. We want to control it. That's different. Maya shook her head. Look at the other planets you've conquered. What's left of them? Maya changed the screen to show other worlds. They were gray and empty. No trees, no animals, no life. Just cities and factories. Lyrelay's face went pale. I didn't know. Now you do. That night, Lyrelay couldn't sleep. She walked around the base, thinking about what she had seen. She found Maya in the library, reading by lamplight. Can I ask you something? Lyrelay said. Of course. Why do you read stories? They're not real. They serve no purpose. Maya smiled. They help us imagine different worlds, different ways to live. They give us hope. Hope for what? For a better future. For a time when there's no more war. Lyrelay sat down across from Maya. Do you really think that's possible? I have to believe it is. Otherwise, what are we fighting for? Lyrelay was quiet for a moment. In all my life, no one has ever been kind to me just to be kind. Everything was always about duty or orders. That sounds lonely. Yes, Lyrelay said softly. It was. The next morning, Maya woke up to alarms. She ran to the command center where Tom Parker was looking at his screens with worry. What's happening? Maya asked. Enemy ships in orbit. A lot of them. And they're scanning for something. Maya felt cold. They're looking for their missing scout. On the main screen, she could see Zarathiel's ship. The Atherny commander was probably wondering. What happened to Lyrelay? Ma'am, what do we do? Tom asked. Maya thought for a moment. Get Lyrelay. Bring her here. A few minutes later, Lyrelay arrived. She looked scared when she saw the ships on screen. They're looking for me, she said. Yes. And when they find this base, they'll kill everyone here. Lyrelay stared at the screen. Her people were so close. All she had to do was send a signal and she would be rescued. But everyone who had been kind to her would die. I can contact them, she said quietly. Tell them I'm alive. And then they'll come get me. And they'll destroy this place. Maya nodded. That's your choice to make. Lyrelay looked around the command room. She saw humans working together, helping each other, caring about each other. It was so different from her own people. There is another choice, she said finally. What? I could stay here, help you fight against the Dominion. Everyone in the room stopped what they were doing. They stared at Lyrelay in shock. You would betray your own people? Tom asked. Lyrelay looked at Maya. They stopped being my people. The moment I learned what kindness feels like. Maya felt her heart grow warm. Maybe there was hope after all. If one Etherny could change, maybe others could too. But first, they had to survive. The enemy ships were getting closer to finding the base, and when they did, the real fight would begin. The news about Lyrelay spread through the underground base like fire. Some humans were happy that an enemy had joined them. Others were angry and scared. They thought it was a trap. Maya called a meeting in the main hall. Soldiers and workers gathered around. Lyrelay stood next to Maya, looking nervous. I know you have questions, Maya said to the crowd. This Etherny wants to help us. I believe we should let her. How do we know she's not a spy? Shouted someone from the back. Because she could have called for rescue already, Maya replied. Her people are looking for her right now. One signal and they would find this base. Lyrelay stepped forward. I understand your fear. My people have done terrible things to yours. But I have seen something here that I never saw in the Dominion. I have seen kindness without purpose, love without gain. I want to be part of that. An old soldier named Frank raised his hand. What can you tell us about their weapons? Everything, Lyrelay said. I know how their ships work, where their bases are, what they plan to do next. This made the crowd quiet. Information like that could save lives. Dr. Amy stood up. She's telling the truth. I've been working with her for days. She wants to help. Maya looked around the room. All in favor of letting her stay? Most hands went up. Not all, but most. It was enough. Later that day, Maya and Lirelei worked together in a small room. They studied maps of enemy positions and ship designs. Lirelei explained things that humans had never understood. The Etherni ships are powered by crystals from our home world, Lirelei said. If you can break the crystal, the ship becomes helpless. Where are these crystals located? Maya asked. Here, in the center of each ship. Lirelei pointed to a spot on the ship plans. Maya smiled. That's very helpful. A soldier ran into the room. Ma'am, we have visitors. Maya and Lirelei followed him to the surface. A group of people waited outside the hidden base entrance. They looked dirty and tired. Nina Clark was with them. Refugees from the city, Nina explained. The Dominion is searching house by house. These people had nowhere else to go. Maya counted about 30 people, men, women, and children. They all looked scared and hungry. Of course they can stay, Maya said. We'll make room. As the refugees entered the base, an old woman stopped next to Lirelei. She stared at the Etherni's pointed ears and silver hair. You're one of them, the woman said. Her voice was full of anger. Your people killed my son. Lirelei looked down at her feet. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't bring him back. Maya stepped between them. She's not our enemy anymore, Mrs. Patterson. She's helping us. The old woman glared at Lirelei for a moment, then walked away. Lirelei looked sad. She has every right to hate me, Lirelei said. Yes, she does. But that doesn't mean you should give up. That night, something unexpected happened. Alarms rang. Through the base. Everyone ran to the command center. What's happening? Maya asked Tom. A ship just landed outside. But it's not attacking. On the main screen, they could see a strange sight. A Vexithari warrior stood next to a damaged fighter ship. She was tall and strong, with natural armor covering her arms and legs. But she wasn't holding any weapons. That's Morgana, Lirelei said with surprise. She's a Vexithari commander. I know her. Is she here to attack us? Maya asked. I don't think so. Look at her ship. It's been damaged by Dominion weapons. Maya made a quick decision. I'm going out there. Maya, that's crazy, Lisa said. Maybe. But if she wanted to attack, she would have done it already. Maya, Lisa, and Lirelei went to the surface. The Vexithari warrior stood very still as they approached. She was even bigger than Maya had expected. Her skin looked like metal in some places. I seek the one called Lirelei, Morgana said. Her voice was deep and strong. I'm here, Lirelei said, stepping forward. Morgana looked at her with strange eyes that had no white parts, only gold. They say you have joined the humans. Yes. Why? Lirelei thought for a moment. Because they showed me that there is more to life than war and duty. Morgana was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I was ordered to kill human prisoners yesterday. I refused. This surprised everyone. What happened? Maya asked. They tried to punish me. I fought back and escaped. Now I have nowhere to go. Maya looked at this huge alien warrior. She could probably kill all three of them without trying hard, but she seemed lost and alone. You can stay here if you want, Maya said. Morgana stared at her. You would trust me? Lirelei vouches for you? That's enough for me. But I am Vexithari. We are your enemies. You were our enemies. But that was your choice then. This is your choice now. Morgana nodded slowly. I accept. Word of the second defector spread quickly through both the human base and the Dominion fleet. In space, aboard her beautiful ship, Zarathiel received the news with growing concern. 2 of our people have joined the humans, her assistant reported. First Lirelei, now Morgana. Zarathiel stood at the window of her command room looking down at Earth. How is that possible? We don't know, War Mistress. Should we attack their base? Not yet. I want to understand what the humans are doing to our people first, but someone else had different ideas. A new ship arrived in the fleet that day. It was bigger and more beautiful than all the others. On board was Seraphina, an ancient Etherni High Counselor. Seraphina was over 1,000 years old. She had been alive when the Dominion first started conquering other worlds. She had white hair that seemed to glow and eyes like blue ice. When she spoke, even other Atherni felt fear. "War Mistress Zarathiel," Seraphina said when they met, "you have failed to take this planet. Worse, you have allowed our people to join the enemy." Zarathiel bowed her head. "High Counselor, the humans are different from other species. They fight in ways we don't understand." "There is nothing to understand. They are weak and we are strong. That is all. But our own people are choosing to help them. That has never happened before." Seraphina's eyes grew colder. "Then we will remind everyone why they should fear the Dominion." That night, Seraphina used her most terrible weapon. She reached out with her mind and touched the thoughts of every human on Earth. It was like a knife made of ice, cutting into their brains. In the underground base, people began to scream. They fell to the ground, holding their heads. The pain was so bad that some passed out. Maya felt like her skull was breaking apart. She could hear a voice in her mind, cold and cruel. "Give up," the voice said. "You cannot win. You will all die slowly." But then something strange happened. Maya's mind pushed back against the voice, the chaotic, messy way humans thought made it hard for Seraphina to control them. "Amy!" Maya called out through the pain. "Get Lyra. Dr. Amy crawled across the floor to where Lyra was lying. The Atherni was also in pain, but not as much as the humans. "What's happening?" Amy gasped. "High Counselor Seraphina," Lyra said. "She's using her mind to attack you. Can you stop her? I can try to shield some of you, but I'm not strong enough to protect everyone." Lyra closed her eyes and focused. The pain in Maya's head became less. Amy felt better too. But they could hear other people still screaming. "We need to do something," Maya said. Lyra nodded. "The only way to stop Seraphina is to show her something she doesn't expect." "What?" "Hope, unity, love, things she thinks are weaknesses but are actually your greatest strengths." Maya had an idea. She grabbed the base's communication system. Even though her head still hurt, she began to broadcast a message to the entire Dominion fleet. "This is Commander Maya Brooks of Earth," she said. "We know you're trying to break our spirits, but you don't understand humans. The more you hurt us, the stronger we become together." She changed the broadcast to show images from around the base, humans helping each other despite the pain. Lyra using her powers to protect human children, Morgana carrying injured people to safety. "This is what you're really fighting," Maya continued. "Not weapons or ships, but the idea that different people can work together, that enemies can become friends, that kindness is stronger than fear." The broadcast reached every ship in the fleet. Many Atherni and Vexathari saw it and began to think. They had never seen anything like this before. On Seraphina's ship, the ancient Etherni watched with growing anger. "Impossible," she whispered, but it was working. The psychic attack began to weaken. More humans were able to stand up and think clearly. On other ships in the fleet, something unexpected began to happen. Some Etherni started to question their orders. A few Vexathari refused to prepare for battle. Seraphina felt her control slipping away. For the first time in 1,000 years, she was afraid. The attack finally stopped. In the underground base, humans slowly got back to their feet. Many were hurt, but they were alive. Maya looked around at her people. They had survived something that should have destroyed them, and they had done it together. "Is everyone okay?" she called out. People nodded and helped each other stand up. Even Mrs. Patterson, the old woman who hated Lyra, was being helped by the young Etherni. "Thank you," Mrs. Patterson said quietly. Lyra smiled. "We protect each other now." Maya knew this was just the beginning. Seraphina would not give up easily, but for the first time since the war began, Maya felt real hope. The humans had something the Dominion didn't understand, and that something might be enough to save them all. The days after Seraphina's mind attack were strange ones. The psychic assault had failed, but it had also changed everything. Word spread through the Dominion fleet that humans could resist their most powerful weapons. In the underground base, Maya worked with Lirale and Morgana to plan their next move. The three of them made an odd team: a human commander, an Etherni scout, and a Vexthari warrior. But somehow they worked well together. "More ships are leaving the fleet every day," Lirale reported. "Some Etherni are refusing to fight. They saw your broadcast and it made them think." Morgana nodded. "The Vexithari are also questioning orders. Many remember when we were explorers, not just soldiers." Maya looked at the star map on the table. "How many ships have left?" "Maybe 200, Lirale said. "It's not much, but it's more than ever before." A soldier came into the room. "Ma'am, we have a message coming in. It's from one of their ships." Maya felt her heart speed up. "Put it on screen." The main display showed the inside of an Etherni ship, but the person speaking was not what Maya expected. It was a young Etherni woman with short black hair and kind eyes. "Humans of Earth, my name is Melandria. I am speaking for those in the fleet who no longer wish to fight this war." Maya stepped forward. "We're listening. We have seen your message. We have seen how you treat your enemies with kindness. We want to meet and talk about peace." This was amazing news. Maya looked at Lirale, who nodded. "Where do you want to meet?" Maya asked. "There is a small moon, 3 hours from Earth. We will send one ship. You send one ship. We talk." Maya thought quickly. It could be a trap, but it could also be the chance they had been waiting for. "Agreed. We'll be there." 2 hours later, Maya sat in a small human ship with Lisa piloting. Lirale and Morgana were with them. They flew toward the meeting place in silence. "I still think this is crazy," Lisa said. "Everything we've done lately has been crazy," Maya replied. "But it's worked, so far." They reached the small moon and saw an Etherni ship waiting for them. It was smaller than the warships, with white and gold decorations. Beautiful, but not threatening. The two ships landed on the moon's surface. Maya and her team put on space suits and walked to a point halfway between the ships. 3 figures came from the Etherni ship. One was Melandria, the woman who had called them. With her was an older Etherni man, and to Maya's surprise, Zarathiel herself. The two groups met in the middle of the dusty moon surface. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Zarathiel stepped forward. "Commander Brooks, we meet at last. War Mistress Zarathiel, I didn't expect to see you here. I didn't expect to be here. But your broadcast made me think about things I had forgotten." Melandria spoke next. "We want to end this war, but we need your help." "What kind of help?" Maya asked. The older Etherni man answered. "I am Counselor Alderaan. There are many in the fleet who want peace, but we are afraid of Seraphina. She will kill anyone who openly defies her." "How many of you are there?" Morgana asked. "Maybe 1,000 ships," Zarathiel said. "Half the fleet, but scattered and hidden." Maya felt excitement growing in her chest. "That's enough to make a real difference." "Yes, but we need to work together. Humans, Etherni, and Vexithari as equals." Lirale stepped forward. "What are you proposing?" Melandria smiled. "A new kind of government. Not the Dominion where one species rules all others. Something where everyone has a voice." They talked for 2 hours on that cold moon. By the end, they had the beginnings of a plan. It was risky and would be hard to do, but it might work. "We'll need to move fast," Zarathiel said. "Seraphina is planning something big. She's called for reinforcements from the home worlds." "How long do we have?" Maya asked. "Maybe a week before they arrive? Once they get here, it will be too late." They agreed to meet again in 3 days with more detailed plans. As they prepared to leave, Zarathiel stopped Maya. "Thank you," the Etherni said. "For what?" "For showing us that enemies can become friends. I had forgotten that was possible." Maya smiled. "You're welcome. We'll make this work." The next few days were the busiest of Maya's life. She worked with her team to contact resistance groups on other worlds. Many had been hiding for years, waiting for a chance to fight back. Dr. Amy used her medical knowledge to help wounded defectors from the Dominion fleet. More arrived every day: Etherni, Vexthari, and even some species Maya had never seen before. Nina Clark trained mixed groups of fighters. Humans, aliens, and former enemies working side by side. It should have been chaos, but somehow it worked. Lisa spent her time teaching alien pilots how to fly human ships. The controls were different, but many of them learned quickly. "It's amazing," Lisa told Maya. "Some of these Eterni are natural pilots, better than me even." Meanwhile, Lyrelay worked on a special project. She was building a communication device that could reach across the galaxy in seconds. "When we're ready to move, we need to contact every resistance group at once," she explained. "If we do this piece by piece, Serafina will stop us." But their biggest challenge came from an unexpected source. A group of human officials from Earth's government arrived at the base. "You can't make peace deals without our permission," said General Kate Sullivan. She was a stern woman with gray hair and cold eyes. Maya stood up straighter. "With respect, General, we're not making peace. We're winning the war." "By working with the enemy? That's treason. These people aren't our enemies anymore." "General," Sullivan looked around the base. She saw humans and aliens working together, laughing together, helping each other. Her face showed disgust. "This is wrong. Humans should not mix with aliens like this." Lyrelay, who had been listening quietly, stepped forward. "General Sullivan, why do you hate us so much?" "Because you're not human. You're different, dangerous." "But I've been here for weeks. Have I hurt anyone?" The general didn't answer. Morgana spoke next. "Fear makes people do cruel things, but kindness can heal that fear." "I don't need healing." "From aliens," the general snapped. Maya felt anger growing inside her. "General, these aliens have risked their lives to help us. They've given us information that has saved thousands of human lives. They're just trying to save themselves." "Maybe, but so are we. And we have a better chance together than apart." The argument went on for hours. In the end, General Sullivan left with her people. But Maya knew they would be back with more soldiers. "We're running out of time," she told her team that night. Lyrelay nodded. "The communication device is almost ready. One more day." "Good. Because, ready or not, we're going to have to move soon." The next morning brought terrible news. Tom Parker burst into Maya's quarters while she was still sleeping. "Ma'am, you need to see this." Maya quickly got dressed and followed him to the command center. On the main screen was a sight that made her blood run cold. Ships were arriving from deep space, hundreds of them. They were bigger and more powerful than anything in Zarathiel's fleet. Ancient ships from the Eterni home worlds. Serafina's. "Reinforcements," Lyrelay said quietly. She had arrived just after Maya. "How many?" Maya asked. Tom checked his instruments. "At least 500 ships. Maybe more coming." Maya felt despair creeping into her heart. They had been so close to success. But now, with these new ships, the odds were impossible again. Morgana put her large hand on Maya's shoulder. "Don't give up. We knew this might happen. But how can we fight against that many ships?" Lyrelay smiled. "We don't fight them. We convince them to join us." Maya stared at her. "Those are ships from the Eterni homeworlds. They've been loyal to the Dominion for thousands of years." "Yes, but they've never seen what we've seen here. They've never experienced human kindness." Maya thought about this. It was a crazy idea. But all their ideas had been crazy lately. "Okay," she said finally. "Let's try it." That afternoon, they put Lyrelay's plan into action. Using the new communication device, they broadcast a message to every ship in the system. Not just words, but images and feelings. They showed the Dominion forces what life could be like. Humans and aliens working together. Children of different species playing together. Former enemies becoming friends. The broadcast reached every ship, including the new arrivals from the homeworlds. For many ancient Eterni, it was the first time they had ever seen anything like it. On the flagship of the homeworld fleet, an Eterni elder named Zixandra watched the broadcast with growing amazement. She was over 2,000 years old and had seen the rise of the Dominion from the beginning. "How is this possible?" she whispered to herself. Her assistant, a young Eterni, was also watching. "Elder, perhaps we have been wrong about humans." Zixandra nodded slowly. "Perhaps we have been wrong about many things." The broadcast lasted for 1 hour. When it ended, something had changed in the fleet. Ships began to move away from their battle formations. Crews refused orders to attack. Serafina watched from her ship with growing rage. Everything she had built was falling apart. This ends now, she said. She began to gather power for another psychic attack. This one would be strong enough to destroy every mind on Earth. But as she prepared to strike, something stopped her. A message came from her own fleet. "High Counselor," said one of her captains. "Half our ships are refusing to fight. They want to join the humans." Seraphina's face went white with anger. "Then they are traitors! Destroy them!" "Ma'am, those are our own people. Not anymore." The space battle raged for 3 days. Ships on both sides were destroyed. Families were torn apart as brothers and sisters fought each other. Maya watched from the underground base, her heart breaking with every explosion. "This has to stop," she said for the 100th time. Lyrelay was working at her communication device, trying to reach individual ships. "I'm getting through to some of them. Many want to stop fighting, but they don't know how." Morgana stood by the window, watching the lights in the sky. "My people have forgotten who they used to be. They only remember war now." Maya made a decision. That surprised everyone. "I'm going up there." "What?" Lisa turned from her control panel. "Maya, that's suicide. There's a war going on." "Exactly. And wars don't end by themselves. Someone has to take the first step." Dr. Amy came into the room. "Maya, be reasonable. You can't stop a space battle by flying into the middle of it." "Maybe not, but I can try." Lyrelay looked up from her work. "If you're going, I'm coming with you." "Me too," said Morgana. "And me," added Lisa. "Someone has to fly the ship." Maya looked at her friends. "This is dangerous. We might not come back." "Then we don't come back together," Lisa said with a smile. An hour later, they were in space in a small human ship. Around them, the battle continued. Laser beams cut through the darkness. Ships exploded like fireworks. "Where are we going?" Lisa asked as she flew between the fighting ships. "To Seraphina's flagship," Maya said. "If we can reach her, maybe we can end this." "She'll kill us the moment we get close," Morgana warned. "Maybe, but she might also listen." They flew through the battle, somehow avoiding being shot. Both sides were too busy fighting each other to notice one small ship. As they got closer to Seraphina's massive flagship, Maya began to broadcast a message to all ships in the area. "This is Commander Maya Brooks. I'm flying unarmed into the middle of this battle. I want to talk to everyone who can hear me." The fighting began to slow down as crews stopped to listen. "Look around you," Maya continued. "You're killing your own people. Etherni fighting Etherni. Vexthari fighting Vexathari. For what? Because some of us want peace instead of war?" More. Ships stopped fighting. They turned to watch the small human ship flying toward the flagship. "High Counselor Seraphina," Maya said. "I know you can hear me. I want to meet with you. Face to face. No weapons, no tricks. Just two people talking." For a moment, nothing happened. Then Seraphina's voice came over the radio. It was cold as ice. "You dare to challenge me, little human?" "I'm not challenging you. I'm offering you a choice. I have conquered 1,000 worlds. What choice could you possibly offer me?" Maya took a deep breath. "The choice to be remembered as the leader, who brought peace to the galaxy instead of the one who destroyed it." There was a long silence. Then, to everyone's surprise, Seraphina spoke again. "Come aboard my ship, but know that you will probably die here." "I understand." Lisa landed their small ship in the huge hangar of Seraphina's flagship. As they walked out, hundreds of Etherni soldiers surrounded them. Their weapons were pointed at the four friends. "This way," said one of the soldiers. They were led through corridors that looked like they were made of crystal and starlight. Everything was beautiful but cold. There was no warmth anywhere. Finally, they reached a huge room at the center of the ship. Seraphina waited for them there. She was tall and graceful, with white hair that seemed to glow. Her eyes were like blue ice, and when she looked at Maya, it felt like winter. "So," Seraphina said, "the famous human who thinks she can change the galaxy." Maya stepped forward. She was scared, but she didn't show it. "I don't want to change the galaxy. I want to save it." "From what?" "From this." Maya pointed to the windows, where they could see the battle still going on. "From endless war. From the idea that strength only comes from making others weak." Seraphina laughed, but it was not a happy sound. Strength is the only thing that matters. The strong survive and the weak die. That is the law of the universe. No, said Lyrelai, stepping up beside Maya. That's just what we tell ourselves. To feel better about being cruel. Seraphina's eyes flashed with anger. You dare lecture me, child? I have lived for over 1,000 years. I have seen species rise and fall. Only the strong endure. Morgana spoke next. I used to believe that too. But these humans showed me something different. What? That being strong means protecting others, not destroying them. Seraphina stared at the three of them. You have been poisoned by human weakness. Maya shook her head. It's not weakness. It's choice. Every person in your fleet has the right to choose their own path. Choice leads to chaos. No, choice leads to freedom, and free people fight harder than slaves. Seraphina was quiet for a moment. Then she raised her hand, and Maya felt the terrible pressure of the Eterni's mind touching hers. But this time, Maya was ready. She had learned from the last attack. Instead of fighting back, she opened her mind and showed Seraphina what she had seen. She showed her humans and aliens working together. Children of different species playing and laughing. Former enemies becoming friends. She showed her hope and love and kindness. Seraphina staggered backward. What? What is this? It's what the galaxy could be, Maya said. Not perfect, but better. A place where everyone has a voice. For the first time in 1,000 years, Seraphina felt something. She had forgotten. Doubt. It's impossible, she whispered. Look out the window, Maya said. Half your fleet has already chosen a different path. They're not fighting for the Dominion anymore. They're fighting for the right to choose. Seraphina walked to the window and stared out at the battle. She could see that Maya was right. Many ships had stopped fighting entirely. Some had formed mixed groups with humans, Eterni, and Vexathari working together. This is chaos, Seraphina said, but her voice was less certain. This is change, Maya replied. And change is hard, but it's also necessary. Seraphina turned back to face them. And what would you have me do? Give up everything I have built? Build something better, Lyrelai said. Build something that includes everyone. The Dominion has brought order to the galaxy. The Dominion has brought fear, Morgana said. Order built on fear doesn't last. Seraphina was quiet for a long time. Maya could see her thinking, struggling, with ideas she had never considered before. Finally, the ancient Eterni spoke. If I agreed to this madness, what would happen to me? Maya smiled. You would have the chance to be a hero instead of a villain. Explain. Help us build a new government, one where all species work together. Use your wisdom and experience to make it better than the Dominion ever was. Seraphina stared at Maya. You would trust me with that kind of power? With limits, yes. No one person should have absolute power. But your knowledge could help billions of people. Outside the window, more ships were stopping their attack. The battle was slowly ending as crews refused to keep fighting their own people. High Counselor, came a voice over the ship's communication system. We're receiving surrender requests from multiple ships. What are your orders? Seraphina looked at Maya, then at Lyrelai and Morgana. She saw hope in their eyes. Hope for a better future. Tell all ships to cease fire, Seraphina said. Finally, the war is over. Cheers could be heard throughout the ship as the news spread. On every vessel in the fleet, fighting stopped. Enemies became friends. The galaxy held its breath. Maya felt tears in her eyes. Thank you. Seraphina nodded slowly. Don't thank me, yet. Building peace is harder than winning wars. She was right. The next months were difficult. Representatives from hundreds of species came to Earth to discuss the new government. There were arguments and fights. Some groups wanted revenge for past wrongs. Others wanted to keep fighting. But slowly, carefully, they built something new. They called it the Galactic Unity. Every species had representatives. Every world had a voice. No single group could control all the others. Maya became the first human representative to the Unity Council. Lyrelai started a school where different species could learn about each other. Morgana led a peacekeeping force that protected smaller worlds from being conquered. Even Serafina found a new role. She became the Unity's chief advisor on ancient history and law. Her knowledge of the galaxy's past helped them avoid old mistakes. Lisa continued flying, but now she carried diplomats and supplies instead of weapons. Dr. Amy opened medical centers where humans and aliens worked together to heal the sick. The most important change happened on the planets themselves. On worlds that had been gray and lifeless under the Dominion, forests began to grow again. Art and music returned. Children played in streets that had once echoed only with the sound of marching soldiers. It wasn't perfect. There were still problems and disagreements. Some groups refused to join the Unity and had to be watched carefully, but for the first time in centuries, the galaxy was mostly at peace. Maya often stood on the observation deck of Unity Station and looked out at the stars. Ships from dozens of worlds traveled freely between the planets. Traders, explorers, students, and families all moving through space without fear. "Hard to believe, isn't it?" said a voice behind her. Maya turned to see Zarathiel approaching. The former war mistress now served as a Unity diplomat. She looked happier than Maya had ever seen her. "What's hard to believe?" Maya asked. "That it all started with a few people refusing to give up hope.